So you type in LimeTorrents, you hit enter, and you get nothing. Just a blank page, maybe a timeout error. It's super frustrating, right? But what if I told you the site isn't actually down at all? In this explainer, we're going to break down exactly why this is happening and show you the most reliable way to get access today and into 2026. You know, the first question that pops into pretty much everyone's head is the obvious one. Is the site just down? And hey, that's a fair assumption, especially when a website you use all the time just, poof, vanishes. But the answer is almost never that simple. The reality is, most of the time, LimeTorrents is up and running just fine. The site itself isn't offline. See, the problem isn't on their end, it's on your end. It's with your connection. You're being actively blocked from reaching it. And realizing that, well, that changes everything. Okay, so here's our game plan. We're going to start with why the website seems to disappear. Then we'll dive into your unblocking toolkit and compare the different options head to head. And maybe most importantly, we'll cover how to do all this safely. Definitely stick around till the end because that's where we'll get into the most reliable, future-proof solution. To really fix this, we first have to understand the why. You know, why does a website that works for your friend across the country just refuse to load for you? It's not random. There are very specific reasons this happens. And to get it, you gotta understand what LimeTorrents is and isn't. It's not some giant warehouse storing files. Think of it more like a massive library card catalog. It just indexes torrents and gives you magnet links that point to files being shared between users, peer-to-peer. And that distinction is absolutely crucial. Since they don't host anything, the only way to stop people is to block access to the catalog itself. And that brings us to the usual suspects. It could be your internet service provider, your ISP, blocking it directly. Or it could be something called DNS blocking, which is kind of like someone ripping that specific address out of the internet's phone book. Sometimes it's government regulations in your country, or even just a simple firewall at your office or school. This is exactly why a site might not work on your home Wi-Fi, but loads just fine on your phone's data. So the good news here is that you've got options. This isn't some impossible wall you can't get around. Let's break down the 4 main tools that people use to get back in. All right, so we're looking at 4 main methods. You've got proxy servers and VPNs, which are definitely the most popular. Then you've got mirror sites, and finally, the Tor browser. Now, each of these works in a totally different way, and as you're about to see, they each have some pretty big pros and cons. Okay, this is where we get down to brass tacks. It's one thing to know these tools exist, but it's another thing entirely to pick the right one for the job. So let's put them side by side and see how they stack up. So the big thing to understand here is the trade-off. A proxy is simple. It just routes your request through a different server. It's usually faster, and it's perfect for just getting to the website. A VPN, on the other hand, does a lot more. It encrypts all of your internet traffic for maximum privacy. Now, encryption sounds great, right? But it comes at a cost, slower speeds. And even worse, the IP addresses of popular VPN servers are so well known that they often get blocked ahead of time, which kind of defeats the whole purpose. Now, what about those mirror sites? You've probably seen them, copies of the website on different domains. The appeal is they're easy to find, but the risk, it's huge. You could easily land on a fake clone designed to slip you malware, or just get slammed with aggressive ads and a bunch of broken links. Trust me, using a tool to get to the official site is always the smarter, safer bet. And finally, let's talk about the Tor browser. While it's an amazing tool for online anonymity, the source material is really clear on this one. It is not recommended for this kind of thing. The speeds are painfully slow, and using peer-to-peer traffic on it puts a huge strain on the network, which is run by volunteers. So for finding torrents, it's just not a practical or considerate choice. Getting access is really only half the battle. Once you're on the site, you have to know how to navigate it safely. The site itself might be neutral ground, but the content that users upload, well, that can be a total minefield. So here's what you're up against. Fake torrents hiding malware, nasty pop-ups trying to redirect you, or even just corrupted downloads that are a waste of time. But the single biggest red flag? Seeing an executable file, a .exe, when you were expecting a movie or a song. That is an absolute deal breaker. So, how do you keep yourself safe? Here's a super simple tech list. First, use a proxy or VPN for access. Second, get yourself a solid ad blocker. The source actually calls out uBlock origin by name. Third, and this is a big one, always check the number of seeders. A high seeder count means a file is popular, and that makes it way more likely to be legit. And last but not least, a rule to live by. Never, ever, ever run an executable file you weren't expecting to download. Let's put it all together into a simple process. Step 1, unblock the site with whatever tool you've chosen. Step 2, search for what you're looking for. Step 3, and this is so crucial, sort your results by the highest number of seeders. Step 4, just click the magnet link, and that should open right up in your torrent client. And finally, when it's all done, do a quick check to make sure the files are actually what you wanted. So after all this, what's the big takeaway? How do you come up with a solution that doesn't have you frantically Googling for a new working link every couple of weeks? It's all about changing your strategy. The source material really hits the nail on the head here. The smart move isn't to reactively chase down random, potentially dangerous mirror links. It's about proactively using a reliable tool that puts you back in control. And according to this analysis, that tool is a proxy. If you want consistent access, especially if you use features like RSS feeds for automated downloads, proxy-based solutions offer the best combination of speed, control, and long-term reliability. So there you have it. We've broken it all down. The path to getting access is clear, and you know what tools are out there. But at the end of the day, the final responsibility is always yours. Knowing how to connect is the first step. The bigger question is, how are you going to use that knowledge to stay protected every single time?